Hello, music friends. Today I'm talking some more about books. Again, that's kind of my thing, music and books. So I would like to talk a little bit more about some of the supplemental books you can use with your students or your children to learn more about music. First of all, Vio's Violin by Kanisha Rice is a fun little story that helps students learn more about the position of the violin, which is somewhat awkward. And so she kind of presents it to students in a really fun, more manageable way. I also like this Song Garden, which helps introduce students to composition by Vicki Weber. And I actually got to do an interview with her in a blog post a few weeks ago, so you should definitely check that out. She has a new release called Rhythm Rescue, and she just presents all these different types of musical terminology, musical ideas in a fun fictional setting that students can relate to. If you're looking for some books on composers, I really like the Getting to Know the World's Greatest Composers series. They also have it for artists, and these are hilarious. It's definitely comedy, but students also learn a lot of music history in the process. When I was young, I learned some from this famous children's series. This Bach book was not my personal favorite. They kind of spent a lot of time on one tiny aspect of Bach's childhood instead of going more in depth. But some of the other books like Handel and Mozart are pretty nice, but they are harder to get a hold of than the comedic composer series. These have been a huge hit with my children. They actually play the music of the Four Seasons in this case with a little story that accompanies it. And my daughter at age, I think 2 or 3, was listening to all the different excerpts, and she could tell you what movement of the Four Seasons was being played. So absolutely wonderful. The main problem is that my now 2-year-old son has destroyed them, so I need to buy some new ones. They have it in the Nutcracker. They have Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. And I think a new one is coming out in the fall that I definitely plan on purchasing, Saint-Saëns Carnival of the Animals. So if you need good ideas for birthdays or Christmas, these are a huge hit. Now, for this upcoming blog post, I actually got to interview the author, Victoria Kimball, about her young adult book, The Main Dish. And she is probably my long-lost twin because she has a love for music fiction and family relationships and faith and how to kind of tie all that together. So this is a wonderful book that talks about a violinist's journey and kind of her rivalry with her little sister who is a cook. So I did actually do a book club with my preteen violin students this summer as kind of a way to help them connect with each other, especially since they haven't gotten to see each other as often recently. And the author even joined us for the Zoom call, and several of my students said this is the best book they've ever read. Again, these are kind of my, I think these were 8 to 11-year-olds, so it still worked for them even if they aren't in high school yet. They absolutely loved her descriptions, her attention to detail, and definitely the foodie culture was pretty fun for the students. So Victoria was amazing by actually talking to my girls, and I'm glad to have some more musical characters to inspire my students. So please check these out if you get the chance, and I have links in my blog. If you liked today's video on books, please hit subscribe and like, and stay tuned for more violin content.